welcome to a new topic, ma. So, this class we are going to learn methods to determine order of a reaction. Okay, so how to know the order of a reaction. So, we have 4 methods under this. So, let us learn all the 4 methods in this class. So, put the side heading, students, in your notebook. Methods to determine order of a reaction. So if you don't know what order of a reaction is, in the first class I think we have learned about order, molecularity, rate of the reaction. All these definitions in the first class we have learned. Kindly go back and check for the definition of order of a reaction. Later we have studied kinetics of first order, second order, zero order reactions, and also I think we have also learned radioactive disintegration kinetics also. Okay, so you must be knowing by this time what order of a reaction is. So how to determine the order of a reaction? So under this first method, this is just a hit and trial method, students, and it is also called as, put the side heading, integrated rate equation method. Put the side heading, integrated rate equation method. Okay, so now, the order of which reaction we have to determine. That reaction under observation, under study is performed by taking different initial concentrations of the reactants, and also we will maintain regular intervals of time, and we will check after 10 minutes how much of the reactant is being changed into product, or how much of the reactant is being decomposed into the product. So that is X, and also the remaining concentration after 20 minutes, after 30 minutes, after 10 minutes. Like this, for each initial concentration, we will note down the remaining concentration and also different regular time intervals. Okay, so that means initial concentration denoted by the letter small letter A, remaining concentration denoted by A minus X, and time intervals we denote it with the small letter T. Okay, now we have a different set of different values, that is different A values, different A minus X values, different T values. So what we will do, we will take all these values and take a first order rate equation and try substituting these values and calculate the rate constant. Similarly, we will take second order rate expression. We will substitute A value, A minus X value, T value, and try to determine rate constant. Like this, suppose if we get the rate constant values constant for all the initial concentrations, then the order of the reaction will be first order. Suppose if not first order, then we will move on to second order. We will take second order rate expression, substitute all these values and calculate the rate constant at different initial concentrations. Suppose if the second order rate expression gives constant values of K at all the initial concentrations, then the order of the reaction will be second order. Suppose if second order also is not giving the constant values, then we will move on to third order rate expression. So like this, what we will do, just we will try doing the experiments, substituting the values in the rate expressions, and we can determine the order of the reaction. Hence we call this also as a hit and trial method, students. Okay, so have you put the side heading, integrated rate equation method. So write down under this, students, the reaction under study or observation. The reaction under study or observation is performed by taking different initial concentrations of the reactants, brackets A, and noting down the concentration noting down the remaining concentration brackets A minus X after regular intervals of time brackets T. Regular time intervals brackets T. Full stop. Okay. Now, the experimental values of small letters A, comma, A minus X in brackets and T will be substituted in the integrated rate equations of first, second, third order reactions. First, second, third order reactions, etc. Full stop. The rate equation which gives a constant value, of K, that is rate constant. You know K is called as rate constant, right? Constant value of K corresponds to correct order of the reaction. Full stop. It was the first hit and trial method used to find order of the simple reactions. Okay, students. So this is the way we can determine order of the reactions. Hope you understood the first method, students. Okay. Next, second one. Put the side heading fractional life or half-life method. Fractional life or half-life method. Do you remember the definition of half-life, students? The time taken for the decomposition of half the initial concentration of the reactants, we call it as half-life. Put the side heading fractional life or half-life method. Underline. The time taken for the decomposition of, write down the definition, students. The time taken for the decomposition of half the initial concentration of the reactants, is called as half-life. Okay, so do you remember after deriving the expression for rate constant, in each kinetics we have seen the relationship between half-life and initial concentration also, if you remember, under characteristics. Yes, do you remember? Right. So, for first order reactions, below write down, students, for first order reactions, T half proportional to 1 by A power 0. What is the meaning of it? It is not depending on initial concentration. It is independent of initial concentration. A power 0 is 1. Okay, 1 by 1 is 1. So that means it is not depending on initial concentration. That can be represented as T half proportional to 1 by A power 0. Next, second order reactions. T half proportional to 1 by A power 1. We have seen it is inversely proportional to initial concentration. That we can mention it as T half proportional to 1 by A power 1. Next, for third order reactions, T half proportional to 1 by A power 2A square. Fourth order reactions, T half proportional to 1 by A power 3. Fifth order, T half proportional to 1 by A power 4. So like that it goes on, and for nth order reactions we can write it as T half proportional to A power n minus 1. Okay. So T half proportional to 1 by A power 1 minus 1. So take this formula, students. For example, second order you take n value is 2. T half proportional to 1 by A power 2 minus 1, that is A power 1. Did we not write the same for second order reactions? Yes. Therefore, for nth order reactions, half-life is proportional to 1 by A power n minus 1. Have you understood? Or I will give you just 10 seconds time. Go through once again, go through from first order reactions. For the sake of derivation, we have written like that. T half proportional to 1 by A power 0. Second order, T half proportional to 1 by a power 1. Third order, t half proportional to 1 by a power 2. Okay. And for nth order, it will be t half proportional to 1 by a power n minus 1. I think you have understood, right? Now, below write down the above equation. The above equation means what? T half proportional to 1 by a power n minus 1. For your convenience, put it in a box, students. Which one? T half proportional to a power n minus 1. Okay. The above equation for two different initial concentrations can be taken as two different initial concentrations. Initial concentration is denoted by which letter? Small letter A. If we take two different initial concentrations, A1 and A2, then this equation for two different initial concentration becomes T half I have taken as T1 proportional to 1 by A1 n minus power n minus 1, students. Once again, for initial concentration A1, T1, T half I am writing it as T1 for the convenience sake, proportional to 1 by A1 to the power n minus 1, and second different initial concentration A2, T2 proportional to 1 by A2 to the power n minus 1. Understood, students? Written? Below write down, students. Here T1 equals to half-life when initial concentration is taken as A1. When initial concentration is taken as A1. Below, T2 is half-life when initial concentration is taken as A2. Okay. So, two different initial concentrations, A1 and A2, and the half-life at A1 is T1. Half-life for initial concentration A2 we have taken it as T2. Okay, understood now? Now below write down, students. T1, therefore T1 by T2 equals to 1 by A1 to the power n minus 1 by 1 by A2 to the power n minus 1. Okay, so now what happens? This goes up. Here I have written C, students, is equal to A2 to the power n minus 1 divided by A1 to the power n minus 1. Okay, so T1 by T2 ma, T1 equals to T2 equals to So T1 equation divided by T2 equation. Okay, now this goes up and this will be in the denominator. Now this can be written as, so A2 has power n minus 1, A1 also has power n minus 1. So together we can write it as is equal to A2 by A1 whole power n minus 1. Okay. So therefore the equation will be, students, T1 by T2 is equal to A2 by A1 whole power n minus 1. Written? Okay. Below write down. Taking logarithm on both the sides. Taking logarithm on both the sides. Below write down. Logarithm of left side, what do we have? T1 by T2. Logarithm of T1 by T2 equals to right side, what do we have? A2 by A1 to the power n minus 1. Okay. So logarithm of A2 by A1 to the power n minus 1. Okay. So now right side is equal to. So whichever is there in the power term, that will come forward, as we all know. So therefore n minus 1 into log of A2 by A1. Okay. Next, below write down. Log T1 minus. So log of T1 by T2 can be written as log T1 minus log T2. Previously so many times we have come across this log m by n, log m minus log n. Do you remember, ma? Okay. So log T1 minus log T2 is equal to n minus 1 into, same we will apply here also, log A2 minus log A1. Okay. Now bring this n minus 1 to left side. is equal to log T1 minus log T2 divided by log A2 minus log A1 is equal to, therefore, below write down, therefore, n minus 1. So, n is equal to minus 1. If it goes that side, what happens? Plus 1. Therefore, n is equal to log T1 minus log T2 by log A2 minus log A1 plus 1. Okay. So, put it in a box, students. So, this way, using this expression, we can calculate order of the reaction. Based on this, we have numericals also, students. Okay. So, put the side heading problem. I will give you only one problem as an example. Okay. So, write down half-life of, write down the problem. Half-life of a chemical reaction at a particular concentration. Students, carefully follow while I am reading out. Half-life of a reaction at a particular concentration was found to be 50 minutes. At a particular concentration, we are not given this concentration value, just given half-life value. How much it is? 50 minutes. Okay? Full stop. When the concentration to start with was halved, HALVED. That means we started with a particular concentration. If that concentration is A, that means was halved. It has become A by 2. Okay. So when the concentration to start with was halved, HALVED, half-life becomes 100 minutes. Previously, at a particular concentration, suppose we started with A. At that time, half-life was 50 minutes. If this initial concentration A has become A by 2, then half-life is 100 minutes. Full stop. Find the order of the reaction. Okay. So, excited to do this numerical? Yes. Put the side heading, solution. So, we are just given half-life values at two different initial concentrations. So, write down, let A1 be 100. So, we started with a particular initial concentration that we are assuming it to be 100. So, let it be A1. Let A1 be 100. So, this 100 has become half. So, A2 will be half of 100. Students, you can take any value. If you take A1 as 50, A2 you should take it as 25. If you are taking A1 as 40, A2 you should write it as 20. Anything you take A1 ma. Okay. It is not like we should take 100 only. Okay. So, A2 is 50. Next, but T1 and T2 values are given in the numerical. So, T1 is 50 minutes. T2 is 100 minutes. Written down the data given. Next, below write down the formula to determine the order of a reaction from half-life method. Just now we have derived now. Write down N is equal to log T1 minus log T2 by log A2 minus log A1 plus 1. Okay. Now substitute the values. Log T1 50, log 50 minus log 100 by log 50 minus log 100. Okay. Plus 1. So both are same, you can cancel it off, or if you want to check for the logarithm values of 50 and log 100 also, both the values will be cancelled, and what remains? 1 remains if these two gets cancelled. So 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Therefore, in brackets mention second order reaction. The order of the reaction is 2 with when the data is given like this. Third method, put the side heading. Third method, put the side heading. Ostwald's isolation method. Third one, Ostwald's isolation method. Okay, so this method we use in the case of reactions where there are more number of reactants, where the order of reaction to determine is very difficult using the other methods. Okay, so here Ostwald's isolation method helps to determine order of polynuclear reactions where the reactants will be in a more number. Okay, so underline students, write down. It is very difficult to find out. Write down the same. It's very difficult to find out the order of a reaction. The order of a reaction in case of polynuclear reactions. Polynuclear reactions. Full stop. Okay, students. So, in the case of polynuclear reactions, where the order of the reaction to determine exactly is very difficult, Ostwald's isolation method helps us. Now, let us see how this method helps us to determine the order of such reactions. Full stop. Below write down. According to this method, order of the reaction with respect to each reactant is determined individually. With respect to each reactant is determined individual. Suppose there are 4 reactant students, A plus B plus C plus D. Then order of reaction with respect to A is determined separately. Order of the reaction with respect to B is determined separately. Order of the reaction with respect to C with respect to D. Okay, so like that individually the order of the reaction with respect to each reactant will be determined, and sum of order of individual reactants will give the total order of the reaction. Okay, students, if there are 3 reactants or 4 reactants or 5 reactants, what is done? Order of the reaction with respect to each reactant. Order of the reaction with respect to A. Like that till D or till E. How many number of reactants let it be there. So order of the reaction with each reactant individually is determined. Later all these will be added. So the total will give the order of the reaction. Okay, full stop. Next below write down. Now how to do this? So all the reactants, next comes the procedure. All the reactants except one are taken in excess. Suppose there are 5 reactants ma. Okay, so B, C, D and E are taken in larger amounts where A is taken in smaller amounts. Okay, now the reactant which is taken in lower concentrations will influence the rate of reaction, or rate of reaction depends upon the reactant which is taken in smaller concentrations, and that reactant is said to be isolated. That is how we determine the order of the reaction with respect to individual reactants. Okay, so write down. All the reactants except one are taken in excess. All the reactants except one are taken in excess. Full stop. The reactant which is not taken in excess, that is taken in smaller concentrations, is said to be isolated. Below write down. Rate of reaction depends on the reactant which is taken in smaller concentrations. Rate of reaction depends on the reactant which is taken in smaller concentrations, but not on the reactant taken in higher concentrations. Okay, understood now? Below write down. Now let us take an example, students. Write down. Let us consider a reaction. So here there are 3 reactants A, B and C. Number of moles of A, B and C are N1, N2 and N3. Okay, write down this reaction. N1A plus N2B plus N3C gives the products. So A, B, C are the reactants. N1, N2, N3 are the number of moles of A, B, C. Below write down. Rate expression of the above reaction. Rate expression of the above reaction becomes below write down ma. When A is taken in smaller concentration, that means when A is isolated, dx by dt proportional to concentration of A to the power n1 when A is isolated. Similarly, write for B and C. Next, when B is isolated. Somebody tried writing, students? Okay. Dx by dt proportional to concentration of B to the power n2 when B is isolated. Next, dx by dt proportional to concentration of C to the power n3 when C is isolated. Now, the order of overall reaction, how do we get, students? By adding n1 plus n2 plus n3. If there are 4 reactants, n1 plus n2 plus n3 plus n4. If there are 5 reactants, n1 plus n2 plus n3 plus n4 plus n5. Even if there are 10 reactants, you can determine the order of the reaction using Ostwald's isolation method. Okay, so this is about the third method, students. Coming to the last and final method, that is fourth method. Put the side heading initial rate method. Put the side heading initial rate method. What is this initial rate? Initial rate means, students, as soon as we mix the reactants, when we determine the rate of the reaction, that rate itself is called as initial rate of the reaction. So at the instant when we mix the reactants, immediately if the rate of reaction is determined, that rate is called as initial rate. Okay, write down. Initial rate of a reaction is rate of reaction at the instant the reactants are mixed. That means immediately when the reactants are mixed. Once again, initial rate of the reaction is rate of reaction at the instant the reactants are mixed. Full stop. Have you written the definition, students? Okay. Now below example, let us consider a reaction A plus B gives products. Now, in order to determine the order of the reaction using this initial rate method, we need some data like this shown in the table. So take a pencil scale without any delay and draw this table, students. 4 columns. First column is experiment. Second one, there are 2 reactants, A and B. So initial concentration of A. Third one, initial concentration of B. Next, fourth one, initial rate of reaction. Okay, so performing 3 experiments to determine order of the reaction using initial rate method. So initial concentration of A, first experiment taken as 4. Initial concentration of B taken as 6. Then initial rate of reaction 1.6. Next, experiment number 2. When initial concentration of A is taken as 2. Initial concentration of B taken as 6. Initial rate of reaction 0.8. Next, third experiment. When initial concentration taken as 4. Initial concentration of B taken as 3. Initial rate of reaction 0.4. So students, below the table, if you observe the experiments 1 and 3, we will find the concentration of A is same in both these experiments. So write down, in experiments 1 and 3, A is constant. Okay, experiments 1 and 3. Now, in such cases, so how to find out? Write down, there is a formula, students, for this method. Rate of, what is rate 1 by rate 3? The experiments we are considering where concentration of A is constant. Okay, so rate of first experiment by rate of third experiment is equal to K into concentration of A to the power m into concentration of B to the power n divided by K into same concentration of A to the power m into concentration of B to the power n. Okay, now in this formula we will substitute the values looking at the experiments 1 and 3 students. So if you look at the table, rate of experiment 1 is given as 1.60 by rate in third experiment is given as 0.40. Therefore, left side we can write 1.60 by 0.40 is equal to concentration of A in the first experiment 4.0. Therefore, K into 4.0 to the power m into concentration of B in the first experiment it is given as 6.0 to the power n divided by K into concentration of A in third experiment students. Check in the table 4.0 to the power m into concentration of B in third experiment is given as 3.0 to the power n. Okay, next what happens? So this whole portion will be cancelled. K into 4.0 to the power m by K into 4.0 to the power m both will be cancelled. And here 6 by 3. 3 2s are 6. Therefore, here 1.6 by 0.4 is 4 is equal to, so what is remaining? 3 2s are 6 to the power n. So 4 is equal to the power n. So 2 power n is equal to this 4 can be written as 2 square. Therefore, n value is 2 with respect to the reactant A. Okay, now you understood number of moles of A. Fine. 2. Next students, other two sets of experiments. Experiments 1 and 2, if you observe, concentration of B is constant. Have you observed that? Okay. Now, the same formula you will write here. But first experiment, second experiment we will write. So, rate 1 by rate 2 is equal to same formula what we have taken there. So, K into concentration of A to the power m into concentration of B to the power n divided by K into concentration of A to the power m into concentration of B to the power n. Now, you should concentrate on these two experiments, ma. First experiment, second experiment. Now, fatapat substitute the values. K into concentration of A in experiment 1, 4.0 to the power m into 6.0 to the power n. Look at the first experiment values. 1.60 is the rate divided by rate in the second experiment 0.8 is equal to K into concentration of A in second experiment 2.0 to the power m into concentration of B in second experiment 6.0 to the power n. Okay, now this 6.0 to the power n, 6.0 to the power n both gets cancelled. Now, what is your K? K gets cancelled. 2 2s are 4. Okay, therefore 1.6 by 0.8, 2. So 2 power 1 is equal to 2 2s are 4 na, to the power m is here. So 2 power m. Therefore m value is 1. So with respect to B it is 1. Okay. So concentration of A to the power m, concentration of B to the power n. Okay. So when B is constant, concentration of B is constant, value of m is found to be 1. So m is the power of which reactant, students? A. Okay. So with respect to A, m is 1. With respect to B, n is how much? 2. So A power m into B power n. Here m value you have to write 1 ma. So B power 2. Okay, got it? Here when A is constant, we got n value as 2 ma. N value as 2. Okay, here. Next, when B is constant, we got m value is 1. That means A is changing here, there B is changing. Therefore, N is 2, M is 1. Therefore, in the formula we have concentration of A to the power M, concentration of B to the power N. So, concentration of A to the power 1 into concentration of B to the power 2. So, order, you know now, we add the powers of concentration terms of the reactants. So, 1 plus 2 is equal to, here again, 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. Therefore, 3 means third order reaction. So, when the data is given like this, the initial rate method tells us that the order of the reaction, when we have taken these values, it will be third order, students. Okay. So, once again, after the class, when you have time in the evenings, you please practice this method. It will be easy for you. Okay, students. So, this is all for today. So, we have learned the methods for the determination of order of the reaction. So, 4 methods we have learned. Please kindly have a reading immediately after the class in your leisure time, and also don't forget writing all these points in your notebook. Okay, so we'll meet in the next class with a new topic. Until then, stay safe, take care, and bye-bye, students.